learn about fermenters, their basic function, various processes in a fermenter, design and types of fermenters. Fermentation technology is defined simply as the study of the fermentation process, techniques and its application. The heart of the fermentation or bioprocess technology is the fermenter or bioreactor. A fermenter is basically a device in which the organisms are cultivated to form desired products. It is a containment system designed to provide the right environment for optimal growth and metabolic activity of the organism. A fermenter usually refers to the containment system for the cultivation of prokaryotic cells, while a bioreactor grows the eukaryotic cells, mammalian, insect cells, etc. Chaim Weizmann in Great Britain developed a process for the production of acetone by deep liquid fermentation using Clostridium acetobutylicum, which fed to the use of the first truly large scale aseptic fermentation vessels. The first truly large scale aerobic fermenters were used in Central Europe in 1930s for the production of compressed yeast. In 1932, Strauch and Schmidt patented a system in which the aeration tubes were provided with water and steam for cleaning and sterilizing. Construction work on the first large scale plant to produce penicillin by deep fermentation was started in 1943 in United States of America. The main function of a fermenter is to provide a controlled environment for the growth of microorganisms or animal cells to obtain a desired product such as antibiotics, enzymes, organic acids, solvents. A fermenter should provide agitation for mixing of cells and medium, aeration, aerobic fermenters for oxygen supply, regulation of factors like temperature, pH, pressure, aeration, nutrient feeding, liquid level, etc. Sterilization and maintenance of sterility and withdrawal of cells medium for continuous fermenters. Modern fermenters are usually integrated with computers for efficient process monitoring, data acquisition, etc. Various aspects need to be kept in mind while designing and constructing a fermenter. The vessel should be capable of being operated aseptically for a number of days and should be reliable in long term operation and meet the requirements of containment regulations. Adequate aeration and agitation should be provided to meet the metabolic requirements of the microorganisms. However, the mixing should not cause damage to the organism. Power consumption should be as low as possible. A system of temperature and pH control should be provided. Sampling facilities should be provided. Evaporation losses from the fermenter should not be excessive. The vessel should be designed to require the minimal use of labor in operation, harvesting, cleaning and maintenance. Ideally, the vessel should be suitable for a range of processes, but this may be restricted because of containment regulations. The vessels should be constructed to ensure smooth internal surfaces, using wells instead of flange joints wherever possible. The vessel should be of similar geometry to both smaller and larger vessels in the pilot plant or plant to facilitate scale up. The cheapest material which enables satisfactory result to be achieved should be used. There should be adequate service provisions for individual plants. Aseptic operation involves protection against containment, and it is well established and understood concept in the fermentation industries. Containment involves prevention of escape of viable cells from a fermenter or downstream equipment. Containment guidelines were initiated during 1970s. To establish the appropriate degree of containment, the process must be carefully assessed for potential hazards. It is essential that the fermenter design meets the requirements of the degree of asepsis and containment demanded by the particular process. Some operations may have to be performed according to certain specifications to achieve and maintain aseptic conditions and containment during fermentation. These are sterilization of the fermenter, sterilization of the air supply and exhaust gas, aeration and agitation. The addition of inoculums, nutrients and other supplements, sampling, foam control, monitoring and control of various parameters. In fermentation with strict aseptic requirements, it is important to select materials that can withstand repeated steam sterilization cycles. On a small scale, it is possible to use glass or stainless steel. Glass is useful because it gives smooth surfaces, is non-toxic, corrosion proof and is usually easy to examine the interior of the vessel. Two basic types of fermenters are used: a glass vessel with a round or flat bottom and a top flanged carrying plate, a glass cylinder with stainless steel top and bottom plates. Pilot and industrial scale vessels are normally constructed of stainless steel. The American Iron and Steel Institute AISI grade 316 steel, which contains 18% chromium, 10% nickel and 2 to 2.5% molybdenum, is generally used in fermenter construction. The thickness of the construction material will increase with scale. At 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs decimeter cube capacity, 7 mm plate may be used for the side of a vessel and 10 mm plate for the top and bottom. These plates should be hemispherical to withstand pressures. The basic objective of aeration is to provide microorganisms growing in submerged cultures with adequate oxygen for their metabolic needs. On the other hand, agitation aims to ensure a homogeneous distribution of microorganisms and the nutrients in the broth. Various components are required in the fermenter for aeration and agitation: agitator or impeller, stirrer glands and bearings, baffles and asperger or the aeration system. The agitator is required to achieve a number of mixing objectives: bulk fluid and gas phase mixing, air dispersion, oxygen transfer, heat transfer, suspension of solid particles throughout the vessel contents and maintenance of a uniform environment. Enhancement of mass transfer between dispersed phases. Agitators are of several different types, example, disc turbine, vane disc turbine, open turbine of variable pitch and marine propellers. Disc turbine consists of a disc with a series of rectangular vanes set in a vertical plane around its periphery. The vane disc turbine has a series of rectangular vanes attached vertically to the underside of the disc. In case of variable pitch open turbine, the vanes are attached directly to a boss on the agitator shaft. The marine propeller is similar to variable pitch open turbine, except that it has blades in the place of vanes. These basic agitation devices have been variously modified. For example, the variable pitch open turbine scheme has been modified to develop 4 modern agitator types: SCABA, 6S RGT, ProCam MaxFlow, Lightning A315. Good mixing and aeration in high viscosity broth may also be achieved by a dual impeller combination, in which the lower impeller primarily dispenses the air, while the upper impeller primarily enhances mixing of the broth. The satisfactory sealing of the steerer shaft assembly has been one of the most difficult problems. This is very important for maintaining aseptic conditions over long periods. 4 basic types of seal assembly have been used in fermenters: the stuffing box, packed gland seal, the simple bush seal, the mechanical seal, and the magnetic drive. Most modern fermenters use mechanical seals. These seals are more expensive, but are more durable and less prone to leakage or containment entry. Magnetic drives, although quite expensive, are being used in some animal cell culture vessels. The mechanical seal consists of 2 parts. One of the part remains stationary in the bearing housing, while the other rotates on the shaft. The 2 components of the seal are pressed together by springs or expanding bellows. Steam condensate is used to lubricate and cool the seals during operation and serves as a contaminant barrier. Baffles are metal strips that prevent vortex formation around the walls of the vessel. These metal strips are attached radially to the wall of every 1/10 of vessel diameter. Usually 4 baffles are present, but when the vessel diameter is over 3 decimeter cube, around 6 to 8 baffles are used. There should be enough gap between wall and baffle so that scoring action around vessel is facilitated. This moment minimizes microbial growth on baffles and fermentation walls. If needed, cooling coils may be attached to baffles. Asperger is a device for introducing air into fermenter. Aeration provides sufficient oxygen for organisms in the fermenter. Fine bubble aerators must be used. Large bubbles have less surface area than smaller bubbles, which facilitates oxygen transfer to a greater extent. Agitation is not required when aeration provides enough agitation, which is the case of airlift fermenter, but this is possible only for a medium which has low viscosity and low total solids. For aeration to provide agitation, the aspect ratio of vessel height with diameter should be 5:1. Air supply to the asperger should be through a filter. There are 3 types of aspergers: porous asperger, orifice asperger, and nozzle asperger. Porous asperger is made up of sintered glass, ceramics, or metal. It is used only in lab scale non-agitated vessel. The size of the bubble formed is 10 to 100 times larger than the pore size. There is a pressure drop across the asperger and the holes tend to be blocked by growth, which is the limitation of porous asperger. Orifice asperger is used in small stir fermenter. It is a perforated pipe kept below the impeller in the form of crosses or rings. The size should be approximately 3/4 of impeller diameter. Air holes should be drilled on the under surfaces of the tubes and the holes should be at least 6 mm diameter. This type of asperger is used mostly with agitation. It is also used without agitation in some cases like yeast manufacture, effluent treatment and the production of single cell proteins SCP. Nozzle asperger is mostly used in large scale fermenters. It is a single open or partially closed pipe positioned centrally below the impeller. When air is passed through this pipe, there is lower pressure loss and does not get blocked. Combined asperger agitator is air supply via hollow agitator shaft. The air is emitted through holes in the disc or blades of agitator. The fermenter must have an adequate provision for temperature control. Both microbial activity and agitation generates heat. In some fermentation, either additional heating or removal of the excess heat may be required. Temperature control may be considered at laboratory scale, pilot scale and production scale. In laboratory scale fermentations, normally little heat is generated. Therefore, heat has to be added to the system. This can be achieved through various ways. The fermenter may be placed in a thermostatically controlled bath. Internal heating coils may be used. Water may be circulated through a heating jacket or a silicone heating jacket may be used. The silicone jacket consists of 2 silicone rubber mats and heating wires between these mats. This jacket is wrapped around the fermenter and may be held in place by velcro strips. In case of larger fermenters, beyond a certain size, excess heat is generated and the fermenter surface becomes inadequate for heat removal. The size at which fermenter surface becomes inadequate for heat removal will depend on the fermentation process and the ambient temperature at which fermentation is being carried out. In such cases, internal coils have to be used to circulate cold water through them for removing the excess heat. A pH measurement is a determination of the activity of hydrogen ions in an aqueous solution. Certain microorganisms grow in particular pH only. In fermentation, it is very essential to control pH in order to grow the desired microorganisms for product formation. pH control sensors are used in fermenter for periodically checking of pH. In applications ranging from industrial operations to biological processes, it is important to have an accurate and precise measurement of pH. Foaming is a problem often encountered in fermentation. it is very important to control foaming. Foam is produced during most microbial fermentations. Foaming may occur either due to a medium component, example protein present in the medium, or due to some compound produced by the microorganism. Proteins are present in corn steep liquor, soybean meal, etc. These proteins may denature at the air broth interface and form a protein film that does not rupture readily. Foaming can cause removal of cells from the medium. Such cells will undergo autolysis and release more proteins into the medium. This in turn will further stabilize the foam. Sensing of foam is undertaken with a foam probe. When foaming becomes excessive, there is a danger of the filters becoming wet, resulting in contamination, increasing pressure drop and decreasing gas flow. Foam can be controlled with a mechanical foam breaker or the addition of surface active chemical agents called anti-foaming agents. Foam is also controlled by addition of oils. Control of foams by oil addition is of large economic importance to the fermentation industry. There are various types of fermenters. For example, continuous stirred tank fermenter, air-lift fermenter, fluidized bed fermenter, tower fermenter, the packed bed fermenter. In continuous stirred tank fermenter or CSTF, the contents of the vessel do not vary with time. Steady state conditions can be achieved by either chemostatic or turbidostatic principles. The chemostat involves the adjustment of the flow rate of the fermenter to an appropriate and constant value and allowing the microorganisms, substrates and biochemical product concentration to attain their natural levels. The turbidostat requires an experimental determination of the turbidity, also known as an indirect measurement of microbial concentration. This is used to control the flow rate. The most successful continuous systems are those employing yeast and bacteria, in which the desired products are the cells or primary metabolites, compounds that form the chemical inventory of a microbe. For example, enzymes and amino acids, or some product clearly associated with growth or energy producing mechanisms like the production of alcohol. The most widely used continuous process based on CSTF is the activated sludge process used in wastewater treatment industry. The air-lift fermenter works on the principle of an air-lift pump. It is of two kinds: internal loop type, external loop type. The reactor's volume is determined by its capacity, kinetic data and specific growth rate of the organism used. The rate of airflow of the reactor depends on the volumetric mass transfer coefficient in the reactor system. It is a uniform cylindrical cross type and has an internal loop or external loop riser configuration. The external loop riser configuration is adjustable and the change in the configuration improves the oxygen transfer rate through mass transfer coefficient for a particular rate of airflow. This helps to provide required dissolved oxygen concentration for a specific microbial system. This reactor reduces the operating cost for pumping air through the bioreactor. The fluidized bed fermenter is a characteristic bed of regular particles suspended in an upflowing liquid stream. If an additional gas phase is involved, there is a tendency for the particles in the bed to become less evenly distributed. There are two important features of the beds of mixed particle sizes: the increase in porosity from the bottom to the top of the bed and the decreased particle movement when compared with beds containing particles of constant size. Since porosity or voidage is a measure of the local free space within a bed, a variation in microbial holdup is expected with a fluidized bed fermenter. On fluidization, the smaller particles rise relative to the larger particles and produce a situation where the smaller particles are at the top and the larger particles are at the bottom of the bed. As the smaller particles have the lowest settling velocity, the bed arranges itself so that the smaller particles may be in the region of highest porosity and the lowest linear velocity. A tower fermenter is an elongated, non-mechanically stirred fermenter with an aspect ratio of at least 6:1 for the tubular section or 10:1 overall, through which there is a unidirectional flow of gases. The simplest type of tower fermenter is consisting of a tube which is air sparged at the base. This type of fermenter was first described for citric acid production on a laboratory scale. In packed bed fermenter, a vertical cylindrical column is packed with pieces of some relatively inert material, example wood shavings, twigs, coke, and aggregate or polythene. Initially, both medium and cells are fed into the top of the packed bed. Once the cells have adhered to the support and are growing well as thin film, fresh medium is added at the top of the column and the fermented medium is removed from the bottom of the column. The best known example is vinegar generator, in which ethanol was oxidized to acetic acid by strain of Acetobacter supported on beech shavings. Fermentation technology is the study of the fermentation process, and fermenter is the heart of this technology. Today, we have discussed about fermenter, designing a fermenter, various processes of fermenter such as temperature regulation, pH monitoring, foam control, aeration and agitation, and various types of fermenters such as container stirred tank fermenter, air lift fermenter, fluidized bed fermenter, tower fermenter and the packed bed fermenter. I hope that through today's interaction, the differences between the various types of fermenters are clear to you.